Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So 55-year-old Indiana resident Jon Shaffer was a member of the pseudo-militia group, the Oath Keepers, on January 6th. And in an interview at the Million MAGA March on November 14th of 2020, Shaffer said, quote, "A group of thugs and criminals hijacked this country a long time ago. And now they're making their big move, and it's not going to happen. People need to wake up and snap out of the matrix because they're going down. They made the move. They're messing with the wrong people here. Trust me on that. And we needed it to be open like this. Open fraud, open theft. Because now we see you and you're going down. Mark my words." So he went on to say, quote, "We're not going to merge into some globalist communist system. It will not happen. There will be a lot of bloodshed if it comes down to that. Trust me. The American people will not go for that bullshit once they understand what's actually happening. So that's where we're at. Nobody wants this, but they're pushing us to a point where we have no choice." As you all know, in the weeks leading up to the Capitol attack, Oath Keepers leaders and group members discussed the use of violence to achieve their political goals, and they planned for the possibility of violence on January 6th, going as far as to set up a quote-unquote quick reaction force at the Capitol, or near the Capitol at a hotel, and they had dozens and dozens of weapons stashed there. So on January 6th, Shaffer showed up in D.C. He was wearing a tactical vest. He was carrying bear spray, and he headed to the Capitol with the mob. Shaffer was at the front of a large group that forced their way past the officers and broke into the Capitol through the parliamentarian doors. And Shaffer and the others forced officers down a hallway. I'm sure you're all familiar with the photo of him pointing and screaming at the police. I showed it at the beginning of this video. But Shaffer was seen exiting the Capitol just 9 minutes after the police deployed pepper spray into the crowd, 9 minutes after entering. And so the prosecutor didn't say if he left the Capitol grounds at that point, but there's no evidence of Shaffer committing any crimes after he entered and then exited. So Shaffer was arrested on January 17th of 2021, and he was initially charged with entering a restricted building or grounds, disorderly conduct in a restricted building, 2 counts of physical violence, entering certain rooms in the Capitol, and parading or demonstrating in a Capitol building. Almost immediately, Shaffer accepted a cooperation deal, though, and so he pleaded guilty to the obstruction charge and also entering a restricted building or grounds. In fact, Shaffer was the very first January 6th defendant to plead guilty out of everyone. So Shaffer was looking at a combined 21 years in prison, 4 years of probation, and $350,000 in fines. But the government, because of his extensive cooperation and his assistance in prosecuting other Oath Keepers, they requested only 3 years of probation, $2,000 in restitution. And the government noted that Shaffer had already spent 3 months in custody after he was initially arrested. So Shaffer briefly spoke at his sentencing hearing. He apologized for the quote-unquote pain and embarrassment he caused, and Shaffer said that he hoped the fans of his music could forgive him someday, because you guys might know already he was the, I think, founder or co-founder of Iced Earth or something like that, the band. And he said, quote, to his fans, "I'm sorry I let you down, and I will work hard to rebuild your trust." So U.S. District Judge Amit Mehta presided over Shaffer's case, and he lamented about the fact that others didn't follow Shaffer's example. and, take a cooperation deal as well. Judge Mehta said, quote, "I certainly thought that your example would cause others to come forward and admit what they'd done and cooperate. That didn't really happen." So when all was said and done, the judge sentenced Schaffer to 3 years of probation, 120 hours of community service, and $1,000 in restitution. Given the circumstances and compared to other cases, I think this was a decent outcome. I mean, there was no evidence, to my knowledge, that he did, in fact, commit acts of violence. So, other than getting aggressive and yelling at the police and, being among a mob. But anyway, especially since he already spent 3 months behind bars, which, I believe should be the mandatory minimum for attacking the Capitol. And some people got off with less than that. So at least he did some time. And it sounds like he is, remorseful. I mean, they didn't ask for time behind bars. So he wasn't just saying that he was sorry to try to get out of facing time behind bars. I mean, typically the judges go along with what the prosecutor asks for, and they're really loath to upgrade. They typically don't go above what the prosecutor requests. They usually go below. So it wasn't like he was at risk and had to apologize to get out of it. So kind of shows you that he was being legit. Anyway, I will let you know if I hear any more. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, please subscribe. If you can donate, truly appreciate it. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.